Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Today we have the tournament director for the Charleston Open on, Bob Moran. Bob, welcome.
Thanks. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you today.
Yeah, and I know you're super busy with the tournament coming up. So today, for everyone listening, we're recording this on March 18th, and your tournament starts in 2 weeks here. And I've been telling people this year, fans, players, just kind of giving them my calendar for the year, telling them which tournaments I'm going to. And Charleston comes up, and whether it's a player or a fan, their eyes kind of light up when I say Charleston. They always seem to tell me, "Oh, you're gonna love Charleston. That's a great tournament. That's so much fun." So I wanted to start with just a very simple question: what makes Charleston different?
I think it's a combination of a couple things. You're coming off Indian Wells and Miami, which are really intense, combined 2 week events. One in the desert, and then Miami, the players are heading to now, getting started this weekend into next week. And that's a whole different world down there. There's a lot of energy, a lot of intense events and things to do. And what happens from a player perspective, they get here, they get off the plane, and there's just like this deep breath saying, kind of, I'm home. They feel comfortable here and they can relax a little bit. I think for the fans, it's a combination of a great city, a great venue to watch tennis, see tennis, access to players. I think you get a lot more of that here than you do most places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was looking. So this will be my first time attending the tournament. And I was looking at the website, clicked on the fan experience page, and you've got so much stuff going on the grounds, it seems like, with the family weekend fan zone. You've got one of those serve challenge things where they can measure your serve speed, live music, an art gallery, Bloody Mary, mimosa, coffee bar, autograph sessions. So I may cancel my hotel and bring my tent and just stay on the grounds the whole time. But talk about, let's say some other people are listening, they're going to come for the first time. What can they not miss in terms of the grounds in the tournament, and then also the city itself?
Yeah, the city is about 20 minutes from the site itself. And it's a charming city with unbelievable restaurants and great history. We're obviously on the ocean, so the beaches are great as well. So things to do in town, it's second to none when it comes to that experience for fans. When they're on site, we spend probably twice the amount of time on what we do outside the lines than we do inside the lines. We really can't control the tennis. We can just put the best experience around the tennis that's possible. And again, that's access. That's the beauty of the site. It's the events that we put on. We really try and bring the food and beverage experience of Charleston to the site itself. We want to create an atmosphere where people spend the day with us. Not, when you talk other sports, you're a 2 or 3 hour stay and then you're moving on. Here we hope that folks stay all day and all night with us. And so it's up to us to create that fun experience, be it live music, be it clinics. If you want to play pickleball, if you want to get out on a court and hit, you can do that here. And that really doesn't happen anywhere else. I was just down in Indian Wells and loved every bit of Indian Wells. It's beautiful. But actually getting a racket in people's hands and letting them play and hit, work with some of our pros, whatever that may be, they can do that here. And I think that adds again to the experience that people have, which is something that they feel comfortable with and feel at home.
Yeah, that makes sense. So let's talk a little bit about the player field. So I know this could change based on Miami if somebody makes a deep run and gets tired or injuries. But like I said, this is March 18th, so Miami's starting in 2 days, and then that's a 2-ish week event, and then your tournament is after that. But so far, the field looks really stacked with Sabalenka, Pegula, Ons Jabeur, Svitolina returning. Talk a little bit about the player field, and then also what it looks like, not only right now, but in particular during the off season, trying to get a player field together, because this is something I feel like a lot of listeners probably don't know much about. And I didn't know a whole lot about it until Hanlon wrote that piece after he interviewed you a couple of years ago. So talk a little bit about that as well as this year's field.
Yeah, the field is unbelievably deep. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that's important to us. So as a 500, the majority of 500s in the world are 28 draws with 20 players direct in and then wild cards and qualies. We're bigger. We're 56 draw. We have 42 direct in. And right now we have 42 of the top 70 players in the world are here or will be here. Hopefully that, as you point out, happens a lot when Miami has a deep run or a player has a deep run. Sometimes we lose a player or two and can't control that. However, when you start with a really strong field and start with a deep field, that means the field's going to remain pretty true to that. And what we're excited about, we have, 5 of the top 10 players in the world, but to be 42 of the top 70 at a 500 level event, that's not mandatory, meaning the players choose to come here. That's really special, but it also means you're going to have a great match starting day one, match one.
Right.
We're on Tennis Channel, match first ball to last ball, everything's covered. So fans coming or fans watching, there's going to be great matches to see. And you're right, we have to work really hard to recruit a class of players. We develop relationships that hopefully last year long. It's not just, coming here and that's the only time we spend with them. We keep in touch. If they have a big win, if they have a birthday, if they're getting married, and lately, if they're having a baby, we make sure we're reaching out and sending them something and just overall keeping in touch with them. And when they're here, we're, I would say, a different class of tournament when it comes to that interaction. I have a executive team that we're picking them up from the airport because we want to have that little time with them when we get them here. We're spending time with them when they're here. We throw I would put our player party up against anybody's because the players to a T. Well, the first thing they'll ask me is, okay, what's going on tomorrow night at the player party? Really excited to be there. It's those little touches. It's those little things that we continue to do. A player gift every day, a coach's gift every day. It's just constant touch points that we have to do to continue to build relationships and get that field that we get every year.
Awesome. Yeah. So I want to talk, this is a doubles podcast. So I want to talk doubles a little bit. First thing, can you share the doubles field with us, or do you have that information yet?
Not yet, but I'll tell you this.
Okay.
All right. You're coming for the first time.
Yeah.
You go to any other tournament, you come here and doubles on any of our courts will be packed. They'll be hanging off the rafters. If I put a really good doubles match on court 2 or court 3, which, that's 2,500 people on court 2 and, 1,000 people on court 3, it'll be standing room only. Our folks love doubles. So we really feature doubles as much as we can. I've had some really cool wild card requests, but I can't say that yet.
Okay.
But doubles field will get secured here in a day or two. And then majority of it, as you know, what really happens with us is everyone shows up on site and is looking at what that cutoff is going to be, and they start trading partners as they go. However, they can get into the tournaments. If A player is lower than B player, but a C player has got a lower ranking, A is going to dump B to pick up C to make sure they get in the draw. So it's really a dash around those last 24 hours to see who's going to make that field up, to be honest.
Yeah. And it's going to be a super exciting field, I'm sure. And I'll link anyone listening in the show notes to the doubles field because it'll probably be live by the time this goes live. But I did see past champions. I mean, it's a really unbelievable list. Martina Hingis, Sonia Mirza, Maddox Sands has won it a couple of times. And then you go further back and you have Navratilova, Shriver, even Billie Jean King is on there. I do want to call you out on this real quick. I did have to go to Wikipedia to find this because on the website under past champions, it's just the singles list. We got to get
that'll change tomorrow.
Okay. We got to get the doubles list on there.
I agree.
So, what do the next couple of weeks look like for you? You're about 2 weeks out. Tell us what's going on over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. So For us, we went through a major renovation last year, major renovation. So
Hmm.
we, go back to COVID 2020, we were half built out. I had to cancel.
Hmm.
Coming through 2021, things still weren't clear. So we just did a player only event in 2021, and at the same time broke ground um, on a renovation, which was
Hmm.
a significant renovation to the player facilities, to the courts, suites, everything. It was a difference maker for us. And so I can honestly say this day last year, I had no seats. As I'm looking out in my stadium right now, I had no seats at this moment in time last year. So I
Okay.
was sweating it out a little bit until a week before when they came.
Yeah.
This year, we have a lot more time to spend on the grounds. So we're really working on some of the stuff outside. Our goal
Hmm.
always is to be ready, dressed and ready to go a week before gates open. And that last week,
Hmm.
we really focus on, all the touching, the little points, the touch points, the beauty points, everything that we can do in that last week to get it to when doors open on our opening weekend. We're full on ready to go. A lot of
Hmm.
tournaments take that qualies weekend for granted. We
Hmm.
don't. You saw all the things that we do with our family weekend.
Yeah.
We'll have over the weekend probably 10,000 people over here over the 2 days, and it's kids, it's families, and we're trying to do anything we can to get a racket in a kid's hand and anything we can do to get new fans out here. So that's what opening weekend is for us. It's all about really trying to create that atmosphere that gets people to come back throughout the week.
Okay. Awesome. So I've got two more questions and then I'll let you go. So you talked about getting a racket in kids' hands, the family experience. I was listening a little bit earlier to your conversation from last year with Kamal Murray on the
Oh, now
tennis.com
that's trouble. That
podcast.
could be trouble for me right now. I
Well,
remember that interview.
I didn't get through all of it, but I got through about the first half. So if there's
Yep.
trouble at the end, then I didn't hear that.
Okay,
But
good.
um, so you talked a lot, or he asked you about just building up the community of Charleston and believing in tennis as a sport to help bring the community together. So I feel like it's kind of a different, I don't know, when I was listening to you, I didn't hear like a tournament director who just runs a pro tennis tournament. I felt like I heard a community leader who cares about tennis and like wants to build up tennis in Charleston. So what advice would you give to someone who's listening, whether they're a coach or a community leader or whatever it may be, and wants to build up tennis in their particular community?
Sure. And it's a great question. And I appreciate the question because it does for us. It starts from ownership on down.
Mm-hmm.
The Navarro family that owns our event now and the two facilities that we operate here are to committed to tennis in this community. So we have two facilities here. And not only do we run this event, we run a lot of lower level professional events throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
We host the girls 18s juniors here. It's a nonstop. I mean, we literally have 100K in 2 weeks after this event at our sister facility, which is maybe a mile and a half from here.
Okay.
So it is nonstop. We have a really successful academy here that those kids are coming here because they want to go to college or they want to be a professional.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're here full time with us. We have in the school itself, about 72 kids, and in the program itself, about 250 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so for us at the tournament, kids are free all week. We don't
Mm-hmm.
charge $1 for any kids 17 or under. We want them to come. We want them to be out here.
Wow.
It's important to us. And you talk about the year round, we don't just come in here and operate a tournament and leave. My whole team lives here. We have like I said, two facilities. We have 800 members here at Daniel Island. Like I said, with junior programs, community tennis, you name it, it's going on. So we really try and welcome the community to tennis all week, but it doesn't stop there. It's constant for us. It's something that's
Mm-hmm.
important for us to make sure we have our hands on or involved in anything we can. I look at little things like Madison Keys started Kindness Wins and her charitable arm. She's funding a tennis court in North Charleston for underserved kids, and we're going to match that donation because she's taken a huge step to try and do something really cool for this community, because this community is important to her. So anytime we can get involved in those things, we're going to be involved. Anytime we can host events, again, at the collegiate level, at the lower level professional level, ITF level, junior level, we're going to raise our hand because we think it's important. And from top on down, we also believe that the collegiate pathway to professional tennis is really important. Yeah. If you go back and look at a lot of our wild cards, we will support an NCAA champion. We'll support a girls 18s champion. You know, you're taping this, so by the time this comes around, I believe NCAA #1 as we speak is going to accept the wild card because we offered. Liz Hoved, who's won Wimbledon juniors in 2022, 17 years old. We're going to offer her a wild card.
Yeah, she's from the Dallas area.
Keep growing the younger players, and we want to be a leader in that space. We feel it's important to grow U.S. tennis, and to your point, community tennis. Yeah, super important. Okay, so last question for you. You've done a fantastic job with the Charleston Open, growing tennis in the Charleston area. How can we make doubles more popular? Yeah, it's a great question, because you'll see it's popular here. And that's gonna take a commitment from events to do that, right? Because at some of the bigger events, the singles players play in doubles. Like Indian Wells.
Just at Indian Wells. Yeah, I was at the Indian Wells last week, and it was like you were saying Charleston is, like it was standing room only for a lot of the doubles matches.
And so, you know, there's got to be a commitment on the tournaments level to feature doubles. There's got to be a commitment on the broadcast level to feature doubles. I mean, everyone in community, they play doubles. Men, women, mixed, they all play doubles. That's what our USTA teams are all about. So they like playing it, they like seeing it. So it's not, I'll tell you this. I talk to my European counterparts and my Asia Pacific counterparts, they could absolutely care less. Where we in the US do care. So I think it loses steam. It loses steam when it leaves here. Right? Because they don't feel it's important over there. And I'm not sure what the answer is, because no one can give it to me. Like I said, I talked to my partners overseas, and it just is not important, where it's really important to us. You know? I talk to Bethany Maddox-Sands probably once a week about that subject. She's passionate and loves it. And she's a big fan of ours. So we always talk about, hey, how do we do a better job of getting doubles more exposure? But it's got to come from tournaments and broadcast. I totally agree. I was talking to Erin Ratliff about it a couple of weeks ago, and she was saying that she felt the same way. Like, she didn't know for sure, but she said, I think all of our crowds are much bigger in the US. Like in Europe, they're just not as big. So it's a very complicated answer, I guess. And it is, you know, it'll take time. I did a doubles pro-am, I hosted a pro-am last year, and a lot of our doubles players, Aaron was one of them that played. And I'll tell you what, all the amateurs, quote unquote amateurs that played, had an absolute blast playing doubles with the doubles players. It was so much fun to watch. And the doubles teams came to me after, said, can we do this again tomorrow? And, you know, I'm going to do it again this year. And it's, again, getting that exposure to fans to play with doubles players, be on the court with doubles players. They see the talent level and feel the talent level. Those are little things you can do to grow it. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Bob, I will let you go. I know you're a busy guy right now. Looking forward to the Charleston Open. For everyone listening, attend if you can. If you can't, watch it on Tennis Channel. And thanks, Bob, for joining us. No, I really appreciate the time. We'll look forward to seeing you on site. Make sure you find me, or I'll find you, one way or the other. Awesome. Will do. Thanks. If you want to become a smarter doubles player and start winning more matches, then join the Tennis Tribe Doubles Strategy newsletter. Every single Thursday, I'll send you a new doubles tip or tactic that you can use in your very next match.
And when you join, you're going to get a free guide on how to play with more confidence and start dominating at the net in doubles. My name's Will. I'm the founder of the Tennis Tribe, and over the last 5 years, I've worked with players at every level of the game, from USTA 3.0 players all the way to Division I college programs, as well as some of the top 10 doubles players in the world. And on Thursdays, with this strategy newsletter, I share that knowledge and advice that I've gained over the years with you. So to sign up, you can go to thetennistribe.com. And again, you'll get that free net play guide when you join.